Hey, so this is going to be a commentary for chapter 29 of my book, Metadimensional, which you can find on Kindle or listen to as an ebook on Google Play for free. Links are in the description. So chapter 29 is called The New Hard Problem. Okay, so I don't know if you know anything about the hard problem of consciousness. The hard problem of consciousness is the question, how does the brain matter give rise to consciousness? How does it produce consciousness? And as a follow-up question, it asks also how you can mimic that in a computer or in a machine. So according to this theory, that's a categorical error, because the body doesn't produce experience, period. Nothing produces experience other than itself, so the question is moot. But it's not really moot. It's just that the question is phrased in the wrong way. Like, we know that we can have babies, and those babies will seem to have the same kind of behave as experiential agents, the same way as we do. They have the same biology, or similar biology to us. And if we reject solipsism, it's a kind of an odd posture to say, I have the body, like a biological body of a human, but all the other humans that have the same kind of body and behave exactly like me, well, there's nothing experiential to them. They are not experiential intersections. They're not metadimensional. They're not their experience doesn't intersect with their bodies or something like that. That would be wrong, strange. Like, why would I think that if I'm rejecting solipsism? But that poses a bit of a problem, because if it doesn't produce experience, then how come it does it so reliably that you can, like a machine, pop out produce new human bodies that will all have experience, and they are not producing experience? Well, the solution to this question is that it's simply the choice to use the word produce or reduce, like that the reducibility of experience to physicalism. That's the mistake. But it's definitely not a mistake that some arrangement of what appears in wakeful reality as corporeal bodies are more susceptible to experiential intersection, to something that's like to be them, than others. There is a system. There is a systemic structure that makes experience intersect with a body. That is not a question. That should be an assumption, considering that we reject solipsism and considering what we see in the natural world. So, and that's the hard problem of consciousness. Like, what makes it bodies, and the new hard problem of consciousness? What makes bodies appealing for experiential intersection? Now, note here the idea of appealing. It's not that it necessarily causes experiential intersection or forces experience to be that body, but it does suggest it, or it does lure experience, kind of like building a nice birdhouse and seeing how a bird settles in. That's how experience would settle in a body, in the arrangement of fundamental dimensions, often objective substrate, that is pleasant for experience to be, or appealing or compelling for experience to be. Now, notice here that the question here is not about software, or about, like we think that if we write, let's say, artificial intelligent algorithms, then they will become sentient. That's not the case here, because what we need here is this is due to two reasons. One is that we want a constellation of fundamental dimensions, of an objective substrate, of something physical. We're not talking about software. We're talking about the machinery the kind of set of objective things that have to be there for there to be for the emergence of a metadimensional, for the emergence of an experiential intersection, for the intersection of experience with that body. And now and that leads to the other thing, which is like, if you think of that there will be software, like let's say artificial intelligence software, that would cause this. The thing that you're missing when you're saying that is that software, or when you believe that, is that software. What is software? You say that, let's say there's some kind of a command to take the number of x plus y and get to the value of z and put it in a register. Now, this action of multiplication, say, this is doesn't mean anything to the computer. Like the computer, it's like, okay, I'm gonna turn this bit on, this bit off. That's all the computer does. It doesn't care what it means. It doesn't care that it means anything. The idea that there's some kind of a program running there, it's only in the perception of an experiential agent that observes it. So you need to have something experiential for you to talk about software a priori. So before you get before you nail the right algorithm, so you first have to have something experiential. So it's a hardware problem. It's not a software problem. Like there is probably a software issue to it. Like there's some kind of software that would make the hardware work better and be more appealing. But at the end of the day, you can't just do it with an algorithm. An algorithm is experiential. It's a story. It's a story of what you have to do. So this new hard problem is not a question of it will not be answered by algorithms alone. It necessarily will be answered by a different hardware, like a different hardware in the sense of a hardware that there is some kind of a justification for it to be appealing for the experiential to intersect with it. What that is, well, I can only guess. Has to provide it with hyper perspectives, like forms, and it has to let experience have some kind of experiential dominance, some kind of ability to change the reality they perceive, these forms that it perceives in a way that is makes a compelling case to be that. Now, another thing to note: there's nothing artificial about it. We're talking about experience, the same experience as you and I, as mine and yours. It's not, if it was a different experiential dimension of experience, for example, it would have to be necessarily causally independent from ours, and therefore there would be no reconciliations with it. So there wouldn't be any effect. We cannot be affecting it. It would affect us. So there wouldn't be anything, no interaction with it. So basically what it means is that if we are to create artificial experiential intersections like that, if we have to solve the new hard problem of consciousness, this new hard problem, sometimes consciousness is actually of experience, of experiential intersections, then we are creating this kind of hardware that we could be, that there's something that's like to be, and we could be them. And more importantly, even if we solve that, we want to know that the kind of stuff that this when we solve this, we create experiential intersections, like metadimensional, that we can interact with and reach semantically meaning interactions. So we expect their intelligence to, if say I make the decision to raise a table in the air, then that experiential agent needs to be the artificial one, needs to understand it the same way. It shouldn't be that it understands it at the same action as raising a table, or let's say an apple in the air, as making a philosophical argument. It's not the same. There has to be a alignment there. So yeah, so it's but still it's an engineering problem, and it's necessarily solvable, and we know it's solvable because we are examples of its solution.